to Geopolitical Horizons, the podcast from thegeopolity.com. My name's Adnan and I'm the founder of thegeopolity.com. So Germany will be holding its federal elections on Sunday, September 26. This will be the first election in 2 decades for which the Chancellor Angela Merkel is not a candidate. Germany's election outcome is important as the result doesn't just affect Germany, it affects the whole of Europe. So joining me today from Germany is our European analyst, Masihullah Rupawar. How are you, Messi?
Assalamualaikum. I'm good. Alhamdulillah. How are you? All good?
Alhamdulillah, it's good to have you here today. So let's jump straight in. Why is the German election important for all of us?
Not only is Germany an economic power, the 4th biggest economic power in the world, but it's the economic engine of the European Union, which is the biggest economic bloc in the world. So whatever happens in Germany, whatever direction Germany goes, it has an effect on Europe, which has an effect to the world as being the biggest economic bloc in the world. So this is why these elections have a very big impact in the world, or especially in Europe. Especially because all of the candidates have very different policies how to structure or restructure the economy, what the priorities are, which we think later we will enlighten as well.
Okay, so who are the main candidates, who are the main parties, and what will happen after the vote?
So in Germany, you always had, for the last 50 years, you had 2 main parties and you had several minority parties. So the 2 main parties are the Conservatives, from which Angela Merkel is a member, and you have the Socialists. But recently now the 3rd party joined the club and became what we in Germany always call or refer to as a Volkspartei, so a party of the population, if you say, which is the Green Party. So really now you have elections where the outcome is not within these 2 parties, but within the 3 parties for the first time. So you have the Socialists with their candidate, the current finance minister Olaf Scholz. You have, who also was the former mayor of Hamburg, the town from where I live. Then you have from the Conservatives Armin Laschet, which is the current Minister of North Rhine-Westphalia, the biggest country in Germany. And from the Green Party, you have Annalena Baerbock, which is neither minister in the government or in the ministry on local level. So political, unexperienced girl. Obviously, the Green Party, their priorities are the climate change, the protection of the environment, and the protection of forests and everything. The Conservatives, as you have it here in UK, are the protectors of the interests of the powerful and the major capitalists. And the socialists always try to establish an image of themselves as the protector of the workers, of the unions, just like in UK. But like in UK, when Tony Blair became Prime Minister, they did a lot of policies which actually attacked the labor workers, the unions, and so now this image has very big cracks.
Mm-hmm. So the polls seem to suggest on this occasion it won't be a 2-way coalition, it'll probably be a 3-way coalition. How comes no 1 or 2 parties can get enough votes?
So we have a quite unique voting system in Germany. So in the UK, if you have an area and there's votes, the leader takes everything. So you have a clear winner in that area, and the leader or the winner there takes the 100%. You don't have this in Germany. So in Germany, even if the one who wins with 51%, he gets the 51% and the other one only gets the 49%. First of all, this is a big difference. And second is that to that you need to have at least 50%, ideally above 50% of the parliament seats to elect your government. I don't know if you know, but Germany has the second biggest parliament in the world. So there's only one parliament which is bigger than Germany, which is China, obviously. So with the second biggest parliament in the world, you can see why it is so hard to get more than 50%, which is why since election days Germany always had coalitions. The difference now compared to the older votes is that none of the big parties, the conservatives or the socialists, can build 50% coalition with the junior parties. So the conservatives, their junior party always has been the liberals, and the socialists, their junior party always has been the Green Party. But calculating both together doesn't bring them above 50%, which is why they need a third party to get above the 50%. And in recent times, this has become a reality on the local level. So for example, in Berlin, we have a socialist, leftist, green coalition, or in Thüringen we have a leftist, socialist, green coalition. So the same in Berlin, but even in Berlin they got over 50%, but in Thüringen they don't even have above 50%. So when they try to get the majority in the parliament, they actually have to hope that some of the right wing or the conservatives support their policies. So on the local level, you could see that it has been here and there, but now for the first time we have this on the governmental level, which is a reality even the big parties themselves haven't quite understood yet.
Mm-hmm. So by the time we publish this, today's Saturday 25th, the election's tomorrow, Sunday 26th. So when we publish this podcast, the vote result will probably be known. So whoever wins the election, what challenge will they have to deal with?
So the first major challenge for every leader in the world who gets elected obviously is COVID. So Germany had very long shutdowns, economic shutdowns. So even the car engine, the big productions lines, there were shut down. The schools were shut down for over a year. People had to work at home or couldn't even take the work because they had to take care of the children. So this is a major challenge that every leader in the world goes through, as we can see from Biden, obviously. The second challenge is that this whole COVID situation also gave rise to a very populative movement. So in Germany we call it the Querdenker, which come through the QAnon movement in America. So you have
conspiracies, yeah?
Conspiracies, yes. You have people, or a big chunk of German people don't trust vaccination, don't get vaccinated, and the vaccination level in Germany right now is at 60%. So everyone who wanted to have the vaccine has it already, and now who is left are the people who don't trust the vaccine and who don't trust the stories of the government and see COVID as a hoax. So this will become a big challenge in the future. So 4 days ago we had a situation in Germany where a young student who worked as a part-time job on the petrol station, he was killed by a German with a gun because he refused to wear a mask. So the levels situation has reached this level that even people get killed for refusing to wear a mask and everything. So this is.
So, what about on the foreign policy front? What are the key countries that whoever the leader is, whoever wins, is really going to have to deal with?
So one of the main partners for Germany in Europe is France, which always they try to give the image of Europe being led by France and Germany, but because France not only politically also economically is on the downswing. So Germany kind of took over Europe, which France is obviously not satisfied with. So France always and is and will be a major partner or challenger of Germany for the leadership of Europe. Then, of course, you have Russia, which also is part-time partner and part-time challenger for Germany. First of all, because of its economic size. So Germany produces way more than the German population can buy. So Germany is very dependent on big countries who are willing to consume the products Germany is building. So this is why especially these big size countries like Russia, like China, like America are very important for Germany. Not always politically, but first because of economic reasons. And this is why the whole EU was built and why the EU is so important for Germany, because all the exports Germany can do, and Germany exports way more than they import. They are all trade free. There are no barriers which would hump the economy of Germany. So you have Russia, a big energy partner of Germany. Russian gas is always very important for Germany. 40% of German gas comes through Russia, and you can see how important this is with Nord Stream 2. And of course China. China is a very big partner of Germany economically. It's the second biggest economic partner of Germany. A lot of German companies have their factories in China, also in Xinjiang, for example. And even the One Road, One Belt initiative of China, it actually ends in Germany. So Duisburg is the last train station of the Belt and Road Initiative. So you have these big economic partners, but then you also have America, of course. But the partnership with America since Trump is changing. So Germany witnessed that America, or they can't build on America for America always protecting them. And this is why Germany tries to establish a European army to protect themselves. And also now with America trying to direct Europe against China, this is also, or will be in the future, a big point of conflict. Because when it came to Russia, or in the Cold War, the communist bloc was right next to Germany. It was on the doorstep of Germany with East Germany. But now China is very far away for Europe. China is a big trading partner for Germany. So it will be interesting to see how far Germany is willing to let it to be directed from USA towards China.
So, Mr. my final question, this is something that's been on my mind for quite a while. As we said, Germany is the fourth largest economy in the world, largest economy in Europe. Why is Germany not playing a leading role in the world?
So this has some major factors why we live in this scenario. But because clearly, if you look at the necessities to become a major power in the world, you could say Germany, especially with Europe, fulfills them. So first of all, I would like to start with biggest point, why, the major point. So when we look in the past, we can see that whenever Germany had a strong leader, and by strong leader I mean not only did he had the trust of the whole country behind him, but also the power was concentrated with him. This is a strong leader. Whenever Germany had a strong leader, they started a world war. So you can see it with the First World War, where Germany had the Kaiser. And you can see it with the Second World War, when Germany had a Führer. So obviously after the Second World War, the Allied powers saw this. And they worked on a constitution. So the constitution Germany has today, the translation for constitution is Verfassung. But the constitution of Germany is not called Verfassung. It's called Grundgesetz. Why is that? Because first of all, the constitution, the Grundgesetz, was not being made by the Germans itself, as it was being made by the Allied powers. And the Allied powers gave Germany a constitution where they tried to prevent the situation Germany having again a leading, strong leadership. And this is why this is what they gave them to never have this reality again. And the plan was for Germany to have this Grundgesetz, and whenever West Germany and East Germany become united, they would then establish a real constitution, which they never did. So we still have the situation that power sharing and the political reality in Germany is like that the Bundeskanzler never has a very strong position. So the power sharing is too big. Even the federal countries, the Bundesländer, they have a big say what the government actually does, because each law also has to pass through them. So this is the first factor. The second factor, when Germany lost the Second World War, not only because Germany was a leading power when it comes to some key war industries, like the engine development. I was in America, and we went to visit JPL, which is doing the engines for the NASA when they go to the moon and everywhere. And you could see all the German engines they steal. You have to say they stole from Germany when they invaded Germany and won the war. And it was like a museum, and they were showing us all these engines, and it was like very fascinating to see how far Germany was according to the other nations. And not only did they steal this knowledge, Germany lost the knowledge, but also it was forbidden for them to work on this anymore. For example, BMW is building very nice cars today, but used to build engines for aircrafts. And even the BMW sign is a propeller, we say in Germany. And if you can't build, or Germany then had to restructure its economy, and it built its economy on a civil economy. So it builds civil cars, it builds civil airplanes, but it's not built on a war economy as it is in America. So Boeing, for example, builds 60% of warplanes instead of civil airplanes. So the economy is not based on a war economy like in America, and you need a big war economy to transject power. So this is the second factor why Germany doesn't have it. And the third factor, which we as German citizens can see quite clearly, is that Germany lacks politicians with broader visions, with visions out of the EU, visions for the world. So even the elections now, so 20 years Merkel, usually it should be one of the most thrilling elections ever, because you had 20 years Merkel, she is not there anymore, and you have now there is potential not only for a third party to become the leadership, but also for a different party to be leaders instead of the conservatives.
So it's an open race.
It's an open race, but it's one of the most boring elections you ever had in Germany. So all the candidates, they bore the German public. They are very boring people, you could say. And even if you watch the TV challenges between one another, the quotas for that usually were very high, but now they're very low, because They are not interested anymore. So
just on that note, do the people of Germany feel Germany should be playing a major role in the world?
So you have a mixed reaction because of Germany's history, and Germany also makes sure that you always remember Germany's history through the school program and everything. Whenever a German guy says that Germany should have a broader role in the world and everything, it's very easy for him to be seen as a right-wing guy. So Germany did some policies to go into that direction, but they have to be very careful. They have to be very slow with this. They can't do it very quickly because of this image. But right now, there are surveys where they ask what are the major threats German people fear, and it's climate change, it's right-wing terrorism. Right-wing terrorism is on the last place, but it's climate change, it's the fear of poor, it's the fear of being poor when old, it's the fear of being alone when old. So it's very personal reasons what Germans fear, and it's not really that, it's not like Russia, where people look at the communism, what power they were, and where they want this power to have again. So
just based on that, it seems the Germans, one of their main concerns is climate change. What is it with Germans and climate change?
So as a leading power in the industry and in the industrial progress, obviously the climate change has a big factor on you. So we have each economy is based on key industries. And in Germany, it's the chemical industry, and it's also the machine industry, like the cars and everything. Ships, for example, airplanes, for example. And these are also main factors for the rising of the temperatures, the climate change. So first of all, the main factors for the climate change come from Germany, which is cars, which is ships, which is aviation. So all the discussions about we need to have green industry, they are reduced to cars, ships, or aviation, which are key factors of German industry. This is one. Second, since 2001, you can feel the climate change, or you can see the consequences of climate change in Germany itself through flooding, through extensive heating summers, and through extensive rain. So the latest flooding, which happened 2 months ago, you had 177 deaths. So if I tell you that there has been a flooding with 177 deaths, which country comes first to your mind? It would be an Asian country.
Not Germany.
It would be Pakistan or Bangladesh or something like this. But you would never think of Germany. So Germany is feeling the consequences of climate change. And then this whole Fridays for Future movement, Extinction Rebellion, they got a very good followers in Germany, and this is why it's always a reality.
Okay, on that note, Messi, thanks for your time. That's a really, really good insight into Germany as a nation and the elections. If you want to learn more about the issues raised today, then please check our website, www.thegeopolity.com, all one word. You can also learn more on other issues by accessing our website, where you'll find comprehensive insights. I'm Adnan, and thanks for listening.